everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of ReKonnect to You. As always, I am Norm Leblanc, and with me, my co-host, Kevin.Duguay. Kevin, how you doing this week, my friend?
Always great, Normie. Like you said, whenever you wake up, it's a great day. It's a good motto to live by, and super excited to carry on with our hat trick, our 3rd episode. And we have our first lady on the call. Yeah, looking forward to hearing Carla's story. Looking forward to it very much. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So they're always good calls. They're always great. I can't wait to see what she has to say.
Yeah, me too. So you know what? Regardless of age, sport, or skill level, athletes are constantly looking for ways to gain an edge over the competition. And saying that a healthy body needs a healthy brain is truly at our core. And as we know, the human brain is the most crucial organ in the body, responsible for so many different functions. And our mission here is truly to help you, the athlete, as we share information and interview athletes on a drug-free technology which has been proven to significantly enhance brain function and boost overall athletic performance. Now, before we dive into the interview tonight, Kevin, why don't you share with us, what is this technology we keep talking about and raving about, and what does it do?
Well, I'll show for the viewing audience. This is one of our technologies. You can see this imprint or fingerprint, which it looks like, and you are correct, and it's a pattern. So it's a type of technology that works through, look how thin that is. So it's a patch, like literally 2 by 2, that you wear on your skin. And when your nervous system picks up those ridges through your, what's called your peripheral nervous system, it triggers a message that goes to your brain. Now we have 11, I'm not going to get in, we don't have time, 11 different technologies. We're going to hear from Carla what happened to her with one or several of these in her journey. And what they do, as Norm said, is they optimize different networks in the brain. So as Norm alluded to, folks, the brain is the most important system. Central nervous system is the most important system in the body. It's responsible for all the chemical reactions, all the messaging in the body. And the inventor of this tech, whose journey was to help his mom with MS, found a way to use the nervous system through touch. And like Norm said, how cool is that you have a drug-free, no side effect, simple technology, complicated how it was designed, but simple in application, to just by wearing a patch on your skin, 24-hour patch, that you can optimize brain function to help you be your best. And on that, we're going to hear from Carla. Norm's going to give you the intro about her background, and we're going to get into, where was your life before? This is your life. Where was your life before the technology? What it was like? And then all of us on this call are all here because of one or more of these variations of this technology. That's why we're here, to share with you about how it's made an impact on life, and that's what Carla's here for. So, Norm, tell everybody about Carla.
Oh, man, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Kevin. That was a great intro there. And, our guest tonight is a fitness instructor, an avid golfer, and she enjoys the outdoor as part of her wellness journey to help her strive to be her best. Now, everyone, let's welcome Carla Archer to ReKonnect to You. Carla, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Norm and Kevin. Really appreciate the invitation and the opportunity to come and speak a little bit about my athletic background and how that really did bring me to this technology. I don't get to tell that story very often, so thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you. So where are you from, Carla?
I live in Saskatchewan, Canada. That's where I live part of the year, and then part of the year I live in California as well. So I travel back and forth.
That's amazing.
If you've ever spent winters in Saskatchewan, you'll understand why Carla spends half the year in California, because for all our American friends, this is like the second vacation spot for all those Canadians who just got tired of 30 below weather and snowstorms and whiteouts, said, I'm going to go to California.
Absolutely.
We do have some wise people on this team, I must say. Carla, that's a good idea.
Yes, and as much as there are winter sports that I could participate in, I would rather be hiking or golfing all season long. So I've just chosen to live the life in the sunshine as much as possible.
Very cool.
That's amazing. So do you golf year round then?
Yes, I do now. So we golf while we're down in California, and we golf while we're here in Saskatchewan as well.
That's amazing.
Don't get excited about the potential of my game. I'm not. I'm
Golfers always talk a better game because we always hear the stories, right? But then it's like when you actually play with the people, go, okay, so there's reality and there's a story. So we're gonna bridge the gap there. But that's
I'll say I'm pretty good. I'm getting better all the time. This technology has sure helped me. I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So
yeah, absolutely. So Carla, if you want to share with the viewing audience, so as a young girl growing up in Saskatchewan, yes?
Yep.
What was life for you like in the athletic role of where that started for you and where it led you to, and then we'll connect some pieces in from there. So how did that all start for you? What was the interest?
Well, ever since being a kid, I always outdoorsy. We played team sports. I always played on different kinds of activities. We did a lot of walking, cross-country skiing. In the summertime, we water skied, we swam. So I was always a very active kid. And as I was growing up, I started to attend fitness classes with my mom in high school. And, there was a day, and I remember vividly sitting in a fitness class, looking at the instructor and thinking, man, that's what I'd really love to do. But I'm so shy. I don't think it's possible. So off I went to university and continued on with regular activities and just being outdoorsy. Still love to swim and hike and walk and do all those different things. But it wasn't until I was 39 years old, and I thought to myself, you know what? I'd still have that dream of being a fitness instructor. And I happened to be looking through the paper one day, and there was an advertisement for a new gym that was opening, and they were looking for people to train as fitness instructors. And something in my mind just said, this is it. This is the moment for you to, fulfill that dream that you've had for so many years. Yeah. So off I went, put in my application. I was accepted. I was doing the training. I'm practicing in my basement, and suddenly have this realization that, oh my God, I'm going to have to stand in front of a class for an hour. There's no way I can do this. and then that fear set in again. I thought, no, we've come too far this time. And, I went through the whole process, ended up being a fitness instructor for a number of years, and really, really did absolutely love it. And as a fitness instructor, it's challenging at times because it's a lot of exercise and a lot of back-to-back classes. And it's one thing to go to a workout class, but it's another thing to lead it too. I think it takes at least 1.5 times your regular energy to participate in it. But I've always loved it. So it's never been a struggle for me. I thought, what better gig could you have than working out and somebody paying you to do it? Like, honestly, my life couldn't get much better. But as I transitioned into my 40s, and we all know as we start to age, maybe some of those old injuries creep up on us, and or, just our bodies aren't just quite working the way that they used to. And that's what a friend of mine called me, and she had said, Carla, have you ever heard of this technology? And do you guys want me to name it? That's okay to name it? Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's going around the world anyway, so they're going to hear about it. So you may as well tell everybody, and that's okay. We're fine. Yeah.
And at the time, Vox Life. And I said, no, I hadn't. And it had just really kind of started in Eastern Canada at that time and was slowly trickling to the West. And she said, well, you know what? It would be maybe something you'd want to look at because it's great for stamina, for endurance, for recovery, and during your fitness classes. I said, yep, get me a pair. I was coming out to see her anyways. I said, I'm open to give this a try. So off I went to British Columbia. I was visiting her there, and she brought me these socks, and I still have them because I love to keep them in. I don't normally show people my dirty socks, if you will, but they were Christina White, but they've had a lot of wear and and they've done a lot of good. But I keep them as a reminder, that just saying yes to something that maybe is seemingly so simple can be so phenomenally life-changing. And she explained the technology to me. She had the banners and the mat and did the balance demo for me, and still was trying to process a little bit about what she was talking about. So I said, hey, no problem. Yeah, I'll take a look at this, and had my socks and went back to my room and thought, I'm going to put these socks on and just see what they do. Well, interestingly enough, I had sinus surgery about 3 months prior to that visit. And I was breathing really great compared to what was going on in my life before. And I put the socks on, and suddenly I could breathe that much better. Like literally, I could just feel my airways open. And I thought, that's really weird. And I took them off, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's just the BC air. Maybe it's, I don't know what. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll try them again in the morning. So I got up in the morning and I put the socks on. The exact same thing happened again. So I walked out to the kitchen and I said to her, what is going on with these socks? You need to tell me a little bit more about what's happening here, because for me, it was just so significant and immediate, that experience. And although we could say that doesn't have anything to do with athleticism, it does, because the way that you breathe as an athlete is very significant to your performance. So I was hooked. I just needed to know more. I took them home. I started wearing them for my fitness classes, started wearing the technology every day. And I was noticing I had way more energy during my classes. But the biggest thing was the recovery, because I don't know if you guys have ever done TRX before. It is like one of the best workouts. And I used to teach back-to-back classes. I get very excited, get into it. So the next day I'm like gingerly rolling out of bed because I've always overdone it. And all of a sudden I was just getting out of bed and going. And I was like, what's going on here? Like something is very different.
For the viewers, TRX, is that the one with it's like shaped like an upside down V with the ropes?
Yeah, with they're adjustable straps, and you use your own body weight as resistant, and it's all the time. So you can work as hard, or anybody can work on it as degrees, but it's a really, really effective workout. And I was teaching 2 back-to-back hour classes for TRX in a night. So generally Thursday mornings I'd get up a little bit. Egads, like I got to mind myself a little in class, and then suddenly, like I said, I would roll out of bed and just get up and walk, and I was all good. And the other thing that I really started to notice too is, because I was teaching probably 4 to 6 classes a week, there was some afternoons I'd need a little nap in the afternoon just to pick up my energy. And I noticed that I wasn't having to do that after a while. So my endurance during class was better, my recovery was better, my energy management was getting a lot better. And that was in maybe about a month's period of time from wearing the technology that I really started to notice those differences.
So Carla, when I love these stories, right? Where there's some cool things that you shared in the last few minutes here. And one was, when you first started as a fitness instructor, and I think there's a great quote by Richard Branson. If you don't know about him, he's a very influential business person in this world. And he goes, if somebody offers you an opportunity, say yes and figure it out. And so you're going, okay, I gotta love fitness. I've never taught, because everybody's a rookie, right? It's always the first class you're going to teach. You can prep all you want, but then it's like, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me because you're the so-called expert. And I really hope I know you know what you're doing, because you're going to lead us in some type of exercise program. And then you start on this journey, and then, and for the viewers, a lot of us in this tech were introduced to it from a friend. And so, Carla, when that first time happened, and Norm, I'll let you where you want to go with this as well, but what was your reaction to her when she said, listen, I got something? Did you welcome with open arms, or was there any hesitancy at all, Carla? Or was that, no, I know this friend of mine, I know her like glue. It's we're best friend, that no doubt, let's go for it. Or was there anything there at all in the back of your mind, just for the viewers?
Because she was a friend of mine and I trust her. So when she recommended it to me because of my being a fitness instructor and some of the benefits, and, we like to support each other, I was open. I said, yeah, absolutely. Get me some, get my husband a pair. We're going to give them a try and see what this is all about. As I mentioned, we were coming to see them. So it was an easy yes for me in that case, because we had that relationship, and she really made it specific to what it was that I'm involved in, how it could impact me, which I think was really key. Cool. If she had told me everything it possibly could have done, I may have said, okay, I don't know, but she was very specific about my needs and how it could help me.
Yeah, I guess talking about it too much would be kind of like information overload, and to try and process all this. So let me ask you, Carla, so before wearing the technology, how long would your recovery would have been, say, doing all these training classes for people? Would have been a couple of days? Like,
Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. I would, like I said, I would notice definitely the next morning when I would go to get out of bed that I was definitely stiff and sore and had overdone it. So it would
right.
take me a good day to kind of unwind. And
Okay.
then I'd be napping to get ready for my next set of classes 2 days later, a day later,
Yeah.
to kind of get prepared for that. So that's why it was so easy for me to see the difference, because I knew what I was not struggling with, but what I was faced with as a result, of my overperforming in my classes.
Right.
Carl, I think it's such a very cool, specific point that you bring in, because we've heard this from a multitude of athletes now across a lot of different sports, was that, man, I can't believe the difference in my recovery. Because it's like, as an athlete, right? I mean, as a fitness instructor, I mean, you know your body. You know what I can do, what level of class I can teach, at how much energy I give off. And having been an instructor, not in a fitness class, but in a classroom, there's a lot of giving that's coming out of you to move or energize or educate people. So it's very taxing, both mentally and physically. And then, that morning when you woke up and you're going, man, I just got out of bed. Like, what's going through your mind, Carl? Because these are like some of these key moments that happen in people's lives with this tech, because it's always a comparison, right? Compared to where I used to be, this is what I look like getting out of bed.
Right.
You wouldn't want to see me. You're my fitness instructor. That's how you get out of bed. I'm like, yeah, man, I got beat up pretty bad. Tough class. But now it's like I'm Wonder Woman. And it's like, so what was that moment like for you, that you wake up, it's like, what happened? What was going through your mind that time?
Well, not to sound too simplistic, in a sense, it was almost like, because like you said, when you're athletic and you're very aware, conscientious of your body, how it performs, because for me, it was really my machine, as they say in TRX, make your body your machine. It truly is. So I'm very aware of what's functioning and how it's functioning, because I need it to be able to teach my classes to earn an income. So definitely it was noticeable in the moment, very noticeable, and really had my wheels turning. And it didn't take long before I went back to her again and said, okay, I need to know more about this, because number one, I'm very intrigued. I'm a very curious person. I'm not doubting at all, but I want to know how this works, because I know there's other people in my classes who are struggling as well. And maybe this is something for them. So never having been introduced to any kind of business like this before, I didn't know what that meant or what that could look like for me or how I could share it with other people. So it really just got the wheels turning in my mind about what's going on here. What is this? I need to know more. And how can I share this with other people?
So being athletic as well, I noticed, or I had to do my own little experiment. So it was hockey or it was bodybuilding. So now the fitness part, you find recovery is getting better. You're getting stronger, feeling better. Did you notice anything in golf improve or a difference?
Yeah, huge in golf for me, because golf is like life. It's like business. It's like everything. In my mind, it's 50% physical, if that, and the rest is all mental. And my challenge with golfing was that I started off with let's just go golfing and let's just try it and see. Well, okay, that works for a while, but when there's something mechanically not going right, and I don't care if I'm not a super golfer, I just need to know the nuts and bolts of what's going on here so I could try to fix it. So I struggled with that for a long time. And that can really toll on your mind. So, I took lessons and I was practicing. I don't have to be a perfect golfer, but I like to, know what's happening, so at least I can make some correction. And what I found about the technology was that it calmed my mind significantly, because I could just remain focused. If the shot didn't go right, I wasn't losing it. I wasn't wanting to quit. I was able to really be more clear. So for me, it's really changed my game of golf, the way that I play and the way that I show up, how I go from hole to hole, and how I can come back for the next round. So,
Carla, you bring up again these really nuggets, right? And when you shared about in between shots, we've heard from other professionals who use our tech and others on the tour. And Phil Mickelson brought this up as well. He says, there's a lot of thinking you do between the shot. Like when you think of a round of golf, right? Like how many minutes do you actually spend on a 4-hour round hitting the ball? You don't spend 4 hours. Most of it is spent between the shots. And they talked about when you're going from ball to ball, where the shot is landed, what are you thinking? Staying in that calm place so that you can function better. Otherwise, if you get the yips, as they call it, or you tighten up on the swing and everything else, and then one shot, I mean, at that level, one shot, and this was a conversation I had with one of the golfers, how much can one shot cost you on the tour? A lot of money, Kev, like a lot of money. Now, for those of us that are the weekend warriors and we have a smaller handicap, just like you said, it's about being my best at the level of golf that I play because of what's involved with the game. But that part that you just mentioned, Carla, of the thinking part between the shots, so what's going, because there's a lot of time, you get minutes before you get to the ball again. What's cooking upstairs here that I stay in that level place that I can focus on the next shot that I have to make to get the ball where it needs to go to. So I really appreciate that comment, because a lot of people don't understand this about golf. They just think, oh, you're just going to hit the ball. There's a thinking part of this game. It's a big part of it. So
yeah, there's a lot of people who can do that, just go out and play for fun. And maybe I'm competitive with myself, and I don't have to be perfect, but I'm always working on my game. So when I'm doing that, and you know what, there's some days where you go and you're just tired, or it's just kind of an off day a little bit. What I found the technology helps me to do is just to actually be able to enjoy the game, even when I'm not in my best state to be playing. Again, I don't come unwound about it and, ruin the whole experience. That can happen in golf. We can just untwist up there a lot about the game. And it's so nice to be able to walk off and go, you know what? Wasn't my perfect game, but here's my good shots. Here's, some of the things I'm going to work on, and it doesn't destroy me. I can just be okay with it.
Cool. So Carla, what type of technology do you wear every day?
Every day. Okay. Well, I wear, the Liberty or HPT technology. I wear that absolutely every day. I wear one form of the Focus, the Flow, the Peace. I also wear the Defense every day as well, because I had severe seasonal allergies. And when this new technology had come out, is it now 3+ years ago, I thought, oh, I'm absolutely giving this a try, because I'm the girl who couldn't leave home without the Claritin and the peppermint oil and 1,000 Kleenexes, and any little thing would set me off. And so since wearing that technology, it's spring in Saskatchewan, I have not taken an allergy pill yet. So
I love that line. I had severe allergies. And for those of you again listening, we make a blanket statement here, right? We don't treat, diagnose, and cure. Okay. We just help optimize. But as you learn about the different technologies that we have, and you see what we were able to do through your nervous system, and people see like this Defend patch that Carla's talking about, when you see what happens to the physiology of your blood with this technology, it's profound. But then you got a real life story. So you got science. I got this golf club, Carla. Okay, let me swing it. I'll swing the golf club and I'll tell you if this club is the right fit for me, because there's a lot of different just like golf club companies. And then you wear that Defend patch and it's like, man, my sinuses are cleared up. I'm not Niagara Falls in the spring anymore. I'm not blowing my nose. I got a different quality of life. Totally. And it's just, it's these moments that we get from people, like when they share their stories of the before and after, as I was talking to Norm earlier. This is where I was before, and this is where I am at now. And across the board, we're always getting that same response. I'm a better version of myself compared to where I used to be. And it's like you said with golf. I used to be this kind of golfer, but I kept working on my game. and I want to understand more mechanics and that. And I got better, but I worked on my game. And I think your journey of working on your wellness is a term that we use. And all of a sudden you're seeing these different results. So must be pretty exciting not to have those, oh my gosh, here comes spring in Saskatchewan. I know exactly what's going to happen. And then it doesn't happen. It's like, wow.
You know, it's kind of funny because my new place I live in, it's got a bunch of windows on the side and there's a big poplar tree outside. And I'm watching the leaves come out on that tree thinking to myself, there was a day when I dreaded this moment dearly because I knew, you know, that I was allergic to the trees and I was allergic to the grass and the snow mold and just absolutely everything. It was crippling from really since the snow melted till maybe the end of June. Life was not really great. So, and you know, I'm in front of a computer all the time too. So a big choice for me was my blood health. So that Defend patch has been on my body daily for years now. And I do attribute to, you know, I'm the best version of myself yet, having worn this technology, because when you have a sense of calmness of mind, when you're physically feeling better, your whole life is better, be it your business, your relationships, your overall health. You know, it really seeps into every area of your life to make differences. And so for me, you know, it was an easy choice to commit to something, especially that it's drug-free. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of taking medication if I don't have to. That is easy for me to use, and that is going to have such a great impact on my life. I'm that kind of committed mind. I'm willing to do it. Yeah. It's easy.
So now you've had some really good experience and you're feeling amazing. And I'm sure, like everyone who's worn this technology, you can't help but share and help people. Can you share with me like one of the best moments that you've had sharing this product with someone and how you've helped someone with this technology?
That's a really great question, Norman. Geez, to pick one, you know, I've been with this company now for over 6 years, and you know how it is that there's so many. I think one most recently so near and dear to my heart is that this past fall, my mom had accidentally fallen and broken her hip. Oh. And she ended up having to have a hip replacement. And we used the Freedom technology to help her with her pain management, you know, post-surgery, and then in her recovery. And she still has them on hand for days where, you know, it's a little bit achy for her. So anything that I've been able to do for my parents, my dad had restless legs, help them, you know, that's near and dear to my heart because, and there's a lot of my other family members too, that it's been able to help. So for me, I think, of course, that's near and dear. So it means so much that I was able to discover something that in turn can help them as well. But yeah, there's hundreds of stories because
hard to pick just one.
It's hard to pick one. There's a lot of really good ones out there. And, you know, I'd say that most of the people who have tried the technology have been open to wearing it consistently, have, you know, decided that, okay, there may be a shift in a short period of time. It may take a little bit longer, but they're willing to invest into the commitment to using the technology because, you know, it took us a while to get to where we're at, where our struggle point is. So it might take a little bit of time to unwind, but we're so used to being shown that, you know, instant gratification, instant pain relief, instant this or that sometimes people don't have the patience to go, okay, let's give this a go and see what it can do. So I've been so grateful to meet so many wonderful people that have really been opened and that it's made a difference in their life.
You know, Carl, you bring up a key statement here when we look at like how old was your mom when she fell, roughly? I know.
You don't want me to tell you, Kevin.
Okay,
no.
I know. Okay,
Yeah,
she's over 40. Was she over 40? Okay,
no. She's in her younger 70s, and she's very active and good shape. It was just a total fluke accident that it happened.
So if you listen, folks, if you listen to this call, right? Listen, I accidentally fell. This is not in our vocabulary. Like, I don't want to fall, you know, and especially at the older group, like our work with seniors, we know the statistics of what happens when seniors fall and break a major weight-bearing bone in the body. It's not a good statistic. And, when you have what we have, and you're able to effect an instant change in people's balance. So for those of you who are listening, there's 3 letters that Carla mentioned earlier that one of the patches that she always wears. It's not a quiz giveaway here. Not yet. We're getting there. But it was called HPT. It's called Human Performance Technology. I'm going to show you this patch. Okay, it's a blue patch. So I showed you this red patch. Going, you get different colors? Yeah, because they've got too many to remember the colors. But this blue one has a different pattern, folks. You can see it. It's a different pattern than this red one. And there it is. Okay, done. This blue patch, when you put this on, a senior citizen, and you do this balance and stability demonstration, which we all talk about on these calls now, because this is how profound it is, it's always instant. It's always, you can quote me on this, because I've been doing this for 9 years. Like Carla's been 6, I've been 9. And every senior that I put this patch on, when I do one or both of these or these other functional tests of even just getting up from a chair, these functional exercises like Carla teaching a fitness class, functional movements, and they instantly feel the difference in the set of gears that you just gave them with this tech. It's overwhelming for some of them.
Yeah.
Overwhelming. And then when it's your own parent, like Carla, I can only imagine like when you reach out to your mom and dad, say, I can help you guys. I mean, you guys have been helping me my whole life because you're my parents. I couldn't do nothing without you guys. And now you get to pay it forward by helping mom and dad function better. How would that make you feel?
Yeah, you just pretty much said it, it means everything to be able to do that and just offer them a different level of comfort, and nothing worse than seeing your mother in pain and discomfort and just having something that can instantly make a difference for her and put her at ease. I mean, there's no question in either of our mind that it made a significant difference in her ability to not be in excessive pain and discomfort. We had a very long wait in the waiting room and the emergency room, and just through the whole process. And the fact too that she had been wearing the technology prior to this for a number of years, I believe really contributed to her recovery as well. But definitely her pain was managed. So yeah, it's a really good feeling.
So have you, has anyone in your classes tried the technology?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, quite a few of my students had tried the technology right away, and some of them even joined my team. And so they still wear the technology today. Yeah, absolutely.
So have you did the demo to them, obviously, right?
Of course, yes, always the demo. And especially, with athletics, there's so many great demos that we can do. We can do the balance demonstration. I always love doing the one with the strength difference, with the weights showing, of how much you can lift if to fatigue, and then, get on the technology and see how much more you can lift. And even as I'm aging, I'm noticing that I'm using the victory patch as I'm working out, and what a difference it's making for me. Some days I'll pick up my weights and think, man, do they ever feel heavy today? I'm like, oh yeah, I don't got my victory patch on yet, so better put that on. And so it's great because, it's important to me for my health and my mental health to keep working out as somebody who is aging. But as our bodies change, sometimes that can be a little more challenging. So I love having that little bit of extra to support me to be able to maintain.
Carl, I love that statement where we've seen through our neurology journey that we coined a statement, right? A healthy body needs a healthy mind. But the other side on the flip side of this is that there's a chronological age of your body, right? We know our birthday, but there's a physiological age that you see people that look older than what their actual age is. Or they feel older than what their age is, because they tell you this, right? And I love what you just said, where we're always, every day we're getting older. I mean, you can't get away from this, right? It's going to happen. But then as we learned about the brain and what it can do when it's in the right environment, and then like yourself and those that are listening going, man, you guys are always upbeat. You're always fired up. You got all this energy. Like, what are you plugged into, man? It says, well, we have the same body, but we learned about incorporating different tools into our wellness journey because we got things to do like everybody else does. And, as an athlete, like we've shared this before, like any edge, and even a tiny little edge like this, I want it, Kev. I want it, Carla. What do you got? Why? Because I know what's coming. My career is going this way, and I know it's going to go this way. The end's going to come. But if I can keep going, like you, like all of us going, I want to keep going. Why? Because I want to stay away from that downhill slide. Downhill's good in skiing. I'll leave it at that. Okay. It's got to go downhill. It helps a lot. But life is like, what if I can keep going, stay level, or even start to make some shifts that I can start aging better?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
So Carla, do you feel like now wearing the technology, will this, because it helps with your recovery, and with your recovery being such a rapid rate of speed is happening, do you think that oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought right there.
No problem.
You need a patch. We got a patch for that, Norman. We got a patch for that. We got a patch for that.
It's yeah. No, do you think it will help you with getting like less injuries because you feel more alert and more energized?
That's a really great question. And, something that's definitely crossed my mind, particularly, when I'm in California, we're in the mountains and we're doing a lot of hiking. So I make sure that I've always got a few different pieces of technology on to keep me as aware and as alert and as balanced as possible, because, it can only just take one little moment to kind of off step. So I rely heavily on my technology to, keep me focused, keep me in the game, if you will, keep me as alert and involved in what I am that I'm doing at the time, because I feel like I'm getting more out of whatever it is that I'm doing, be it golf, be it hiking, be it my workout routines.
Yeah.
And I'm just also taking care of myself. I feel like I'm a little bit safer personally when I have my technology on.
Carl, I've seen some of your pictures on some of the hikes you're on up in the mountains there. And for those who've gone, like there's hiking and there's hiking. And when you go on those kind of mountain ranges and you look into the right and your left, like if you think of like the epitome of this is like Mount Everest. Okay. So if you ever read about these mountaineers and they're looking to the right, go to the right, you go in that country, you go left, you end up in that country. It's a long way down. And I look at fatigue in athletes. Like fatigue is a big factor of when people make mental mistakes or causes you to get injured because you can't react as fast, or you make a poor decision. And, when you're hiking, and depending on the degree of difficulty of the trails that you go on, that is like, I can't do those trails because it's too risky. Now, you know what? I've learning about my body. I have my walk. I mean, I use walking poles.
Yeah, me too.
And that's because it's wise, right? Because you use your upper body as well. But now I've got a completely different body to work with the other external tools that we bring on our hikes to actually have a better experience. So like on that note, Carla, with hiking, is there a hike that you did prior to, say, the tech, and then one you did with the tech and going, man, I can't believe the difference. Like this is like what took, because it's whether it's time or a degree of difficulty. But is there a climb that you did that you went on with Punch's husband or her husband or whoever going, man, this is crazy. I can't believe what just happened. Did you have one of those moments hiking?
Yeah, we did some traveling in New Zealand a number of years ago before I had the technology, and one hike just flashed into my mind a little bit. And there was always an awareness because I was always kind of known as a bit clumsy and klutzy a bit. I don't know. I'm not owning that anymore, but I'm always aware. I'm a little bit extra aware of myself and my footing just for that reason. And there were times on that hike where it was a little bit precarious and I got a little bit nervous. And I'm still very cautiously aware, but I definitely feel more confident in my abilities. And I even noticed that this winter hiking that I'd set out on my hike and I just felt good. Like, it's kind of that solid feeling that you have.
Yeah.
Like you feel grounded, you feel connected. I was aware, I'm alert, and it just made me feel more comfortable. I'm not scaling mountains or anything. That's a little more than for me. But sometimes it can be very rocky. Sometimes it can be narrow and it can be a little precarious. And I just feel like I have a lot more confidence than I typically would.
So, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the confidence in sport or any activity, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
To not have to worry about that. Now, I've had this happen, and I know some people have had this happen where, it's like getting dressed, you put your patches on. I, a couple of times, had forgotten to put my patches on.
Mm.
Have you ever had that moment and realized, oh my gosh? And so what happened to you?
Yes, there has been a few times where, I would go for golf and I'd be like, oh my God, I don't have my sleeve.
Oh.
I don't have my sleeve. Like, what am I going to do? So I just paid attention to my game. It was kind of, I said, okay, it's okay. Don't panic. Let's just keep ourselves thinking in a way that we can when our sleeve is on, and just notice the differences. I think it was a good time for me to be aware of where my mind was traveling to when I didn't have the sleeve on. And now basically I have sleeves and patches and pretty much every bag, my golf bags, everything. So I don't have to go without, but I do know what you mean. And I really make sure that I have them with me at all times. But
yeah, I realized very quickly, I don't want to forget again.
Yeah, exactly. And, I like that. For me, if say I didn't have the technology on for one day, it's not so dramatic that it's going to pivot me like completely off at this point. But I do just really appreciate how I feel when I'm wearing the technology. And so I make sure that I always have it with me and always have plenty on hand.
Wow. So Carla, just as you shared a couple patches with the tech, with the group here, you mentioned focus, flow, and I believe it was peace. I know a lot of us, we just don't play sports. There's other things we have to do in life, whether you're running a business, whether you're in school, or even in the sport. We've had this with several athletes using several different of the techs that work on the thinking part and the athletic part. And it's like a happy marriage. How are some of those other patches? How has it made implications with you as an athlete and in the work that you do outside of that athletic life in the rest of your day? Where have you seen those changes in the kind of work that you do, with the kind of work that you do? How you've seen that change?
So I kind of mentioned that earlier, that the technology has really helped to support me, in my athleticism as well as my business and in my personal life. And I think the biggest factor is, that peace of mind. And I noticed that even just wearing the socks, the technology in the socks, HPT or Liberty, is that over some time, I felt this new sense of calmness of mind that I hadn't really experienced before, which allowed me to show up very differently in life and in business. I was just had a different air of confidence. I was able to, work on myself a lot more in my personal development because I was just somewhere different in my mindset that allowed me to do that. I find that when I'm working on a project, something that really requires my focus, my creativity, I'm reaching for, well, it used to be my sleeve, but now it'll either be the focus or the flow patches that really just give me that extra kick. And the first time I ever tried that combination of technology, I was setting up a trade show booth. And I'm kind of a little bit regimented. I do things the same all the time. That's just the way my brain ticks. And I walked in that first day with that technology on. I set my booth up in a completely different way than I ever had before. I was done faster. I was way calmer. And I'm like, what this happened here? It was another moment where it was so noticeable because I'm kind of like, very routine orientated. And for some reason, I just went off script and did something totally different. It really worked. So it's been a lot of fun just to see that it's allowed me to really grow into, like I always say, I'm the best version of myself yet. And I truly believe it's as a result of wearing this technology and the doors that it's opened for me being part of this business environment. When somebody said to me, do you want to buy a pair of socks? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's see. And somewhere in my gut, I knew there was something here for me. I had no idea what it was exactly, but just in saying yes, as Kevin mentioned, and I use that quote in one of the chapters that I wrote in a book, just saying, be open to opportunity to try, because you just never know how it could impact your life. And 6 years later, I could never have wrote this story for you back then, but wow, I'm so glad I said yes to it.
Yeah, we're glad you said yes too.
Yeah.
So,
I just quote one thing, Normie. Sorry, no, go ahead, Normie. I'll go ahead. Go.
no, I was just going to say, so what do you like most about sharing this technology with people and helping people?
What I like the most about it is that I'm able to, make a difference. That's really important to me. I really do care about people, and I like to help people. And it's just been so rewarding to be able to, it almost feels like a lifetime of learning has brought me to a place where I'm able to really step into a role that I was destined to do. And it feels good. I've had other jobs where, I was not people's most favorite person. And it's nice to show up in a way that it can be of help and can be of service. And it's rewarding to see that you can be a person who can share something with someone else that can be so life-changing. I think it just fills my heart with joy every day.
People really appreciate you.
It's a great line, Carla, because I was looking at, you listen to these other like podcasts or these brand ambassadors or business coaches, and they talk about, what we share with the world, whatever that is. Does it bring value, and does it make somebody's life better? And, I think, your message has been very clear tonight or today or this morning, whenever you listen to whoever listens to the recording, that seems to be a common theme throughout what you've been sharing throughout the last 50 minutes here, that everywhere I shared this tech, whether it was with my own body or a dear ones to me or my students in my classes or whatever they came across, they felt good. I felt good. We felt better, and we had a better day. And, I think in the end of the day, whenever we do something to help somebody else be better, you're always going to have a great day, because you change somebody's life that who'd ever imagine, like you said, that a pair of socks or a patch like this could change somebody's life. But this is what we're learning about the brain and touch and our tech. And this is why we do this call, because it's having these stories like yours, mine, nor people haven't heard mine yet. I haven't, maybe one day we'll hear each other. I don't know. But we keep getting all these different stories from people. They're going, man, you guys got a lot of stories. Yeah, we got thousands of them, man. Thousands. We got sites. But the stories have always been impactful. And this is what all the great coaches say. Just tell your story, man. And whoever shared it with you told a story. Because well, what did it do for you? Well, this is what it did for me. Maybe it'll help you because you're in fitness, as a fitness instructor going, yeah, I need help, man, because you see me when I got to get out of bed in the morning. I'm like a train wreck, man. I need a new engine. It's like, okay, maybe this can help me. And you did your own experiment. And I think, as athletes, there's no better testimony than you doing your own experiment. Because you know your body. And I remember talking to my athletes about this. It doesn't matter what I say when I was a therapist or the doctor or whatever. They're going to say what we're going to say. But you're going to tell me if whatever advice I gave you or whatever I shared with you made you or helped you function better. Why? Because you physically felt it or emotionally felt it, just like you shared on this call. And that's what I love most about this. I think it's like you share, you tell a story, and people go, man, that's my story. And that's what you've done tonight for all of us who've been listening to it. So very, very cool.
Yeah, I love hearing you share your story. It's really amazing. And it really, I get my heart just explodes and I'm listening, and just because I'm always
don't explode your heart, Norman. We don't want that to happen. Like
no, but I just
keep it together, bro. Come on.
No, but it's just amazing listening to the stories, how this tech is really impacting people's lives. And Carla, so say someone's listening to this recording, or they're on right now, if they're wondering, like, can this technology really do what they claim, like what they're talking about, how it's impacting lives? What would you say to somebody if they're maybe on the fence wondering, like, should I really try this for my my athletic challenges that I'm having? I don't know. What would you say to people?
I would say that, what is it that you're looking to improve? And if you are serious about showing up differently in your life, then absolutely give it a try, and give it a wholehearted try. Let the technology work for you. You'll notice a difference if you are an athlete in any way, shape, or form. You know how your body performs. You're very aware of what it's doing now compared to what it used to be able to do, or maybe what it's not doing quite as well as you would hope that it could. And so you'll notice those changes in your performance. And, when we love what we do as athletes, and I use that word loosely sometimes. I think, well, do I say that I'm really an athlete? But I've been athletic my whole life. I work out regularly. I love it. And if there's anything that can help me to continue to do that on a regular basis, well, I'm willing to do it. So yeah, give it a try, because you've got nothing to lose if you want to keep performing.
That's amazing. And you don't have to be a professional to be an athlete.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah, absolutely. So for me, it was one of the best yeses. I'll say that easily, because I said yes to getting married, but one of the best yeses, in my life, because it's changed my life physically. It's changed my life personally. My mental health has improved, and it's opened doors of opportunity to me that I never otherwise would have experienced. And all the while, I've come to meet so many amazing people, both that I've helped with the technology and that I work, like yourself and Kevin. So it's just one big gift all rolled into one. So I'm so grateful to Jay for creating this technology and for sharing it with us in this way, so that we're able to share with others and, really just change our own lives and change the lives of other people. So thank you for having me here today to share my story. I appreciate it.
I'm glad to have you.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you have anything else that you?
No, we gotta. No, I see. We talked about the time window, so I'm gonna respect that, Storm, because you know me, man. We can talk for days here, and but this is I love so much what we're able to do here is to let people talk and let people share and let people listen. And as a fitness instructor and as a teacher, we're all communicators. And we're just communicating information that's personally affected us. And when it falls on the right ears and the right hearts, they go, I'm ready to try this, man. Why? Because let me tell you about my golf game. It's like hurting, or my body's getting older and I don't like how I feel. And if you can help me, but I can relate to your story, then you know what? What do I got to do to give it a good shot? I says, well, give me 30 days. Well, what's 30 days in the midst of your entire life? It's not even this, right? And they go, that sounds fair. Let's give it a good run. And you did, I did, a lot of others have. And then, the stories speak for what the brain is capable of when it's in a really good place. And so as you learn more about what we have, folks, and, Norm will give you some contact information here, go on a learning curve like Carla did. Okay, she said that, right? She says, I'm intrigued by this. I'm going to look into this stuff some more and get my head around this, because I don't understand. I didn't understand it either, folks. In fact, a lot of smart doctors don't understand it either. Going, how is this possible? No, it is. But there's a lot of science that's come out now on the study of haptics, or the science of touch, and how powerful it is, and how it can make a huge effect on helping the most important system in your body, which is your brain. And so you heard today from Carla about how it made an effect on her and her quality of life. And that's what it's about quality of life, hope, and dignity. And that's what we got. So Carla, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you both for having me tonight. It's been a real pleasure to be here with you.
Cool.
Thank you for doing this, too.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. It really, really, really is. Now, if someone wanted to reach out to you, how can they reach you? Do you have an email address that you'd like to share with the folks?
Sure, absolutely. You can reach me at successwithcarlaarcher@gmail.com, or you can also find me under Carla Archer on Facebook. So either one of those are great places to reach out.
We'll put the links up in the in the post, folks. So if you forgot, your memory's gone. Like, what did you say? Successwithcarlaarcher@gmail.com, and Carla Archer will get you contact information if you want to talk to her more about her story, because something connected with you. And then Norm, where can they find us?
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, we hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you'd like to learn more information about upcoming podcasts, or maybe perhaps you want to be on our show and be interviewed, you can reach out to info@rekonnectyou.ca. And until next time, we look forward to seeing you. Take care and have a great night, everybody.